Hello, for today's mobility class, we're going to start in downward facing dog. So we're going to place our hands onto the mat and we're going to step our feet back. Now for our downward facing dog, you can gently bend your knees. It's okay if your heels don't touch the mat, that is okay. Bending the knees just slightly is going to save our hamstrings. For our hands, our fingertips are going to be facing forward. You're going to work on pushing the floor away or the mat away. Think about your hips rising up towards the ceiling and your chest gently dipping down in between the shoulders. We're going to take 2 more breaths here, breathing in through the nose and gently out through the nose if you can. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. On our next inhale, we're going to gently move the left leg in an inch and bring the right leg back and up, reaching our knee up towards the ceiling. So again, pushing our hands down into the mat, maybe rolling our ankle here. Making sure that our shoulders are square to the top of the mat and not opening up to one side. On our next inhale, we're going to take that right leg and we're going to step it up to the top of the mat, keeping our left heel up, and we're going to rise all the way up to our crescent lunge position. Pushing this hip all the way down, drawing our belly in. You can reach your hands up overhead, you can reach them behind your head, or keep your hands onto our hips, whatever's most comfortable for you. Thinking about our hips pulling back and down. And think about our left glute pushing forward, maybe gently activating to get a nice hip flexor stretch here. Taking 1 more breath wherever we are. And then as we exhale, we're gonna all bring our hands to our hips if we haven't already. And then we're gonna step our left foot in about 5 or 6 inches. And then we're going to straighten out our right leg. We're gonna move to pyramid pose. So we're gonna take a nice deep breath, stand up nice and tall into our feet. Pushing down through that back heel, you'll activate the whole back of the leg and feel a nice calf stretch as well. So again, nice deep breath in, feeling all 4 corners of both feet. Then as we exhale, we're gonna reach forward, pulling our right hip back and our left hip forward. What tends to happen is this hip comes out, we wanna pull that in, reaching our chin towards our shin, but gazing at our big toe. You can keep your hands on your hips. If you want to reach down towards that right ankle, you can, but no gold stars if you do. Taking 2 more breaths here. One more breath, deep inhale and exhale. On our next inhale, we're going to bend into that right leg. Place both hands down onto the mat, and then we're going to straighten our right leg and lift the left leg. A slight bend in this right leg is okay. Our left toes are pointing down towards the floor. We're lifting up through that heel as high as you can. If this is as high as you can go today, that's okay. If this is as high as you can go, that's great too. We're going to hold here just for 1 more breath. Deep inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to take our left leg and we're going to swing it over to the right side. Now keeping this bend in the right leg, and my left leg is on a back diagonal behind that right leg, or that right foot. So you can bring your hands to blocks or a pillow if you need a little bit more space. From here, we're just going to hold this stretch. You're going to feel a deep stretch in that calf muscle and also on the outer IT band from here. Option to stay here or to bring the left hand down and lift the right arm. Think about stepping down into that right leg wherever we are and lifting up that right hip. Taking 1 more nice deep breath wherever we are. And if we have this right hand up, bringing it down towards the mat. From here, we're going to step our feet nice and wide and sink down into our Malasana or yogi squat position. Again, you can use a block underneath your hip, small stool, pillow, folded blankets, whatever you have. Goal here is to open up our chest and also bringing our weight back over our heels. So the option just to stay here, or we can bring the left arm out and lift up the right. Again, thinking about our knees not rotating down and in, thinking about them pointing up to the ceiling, sinking back onto our heels, really reaching up for one more breath. Then as we exhale, we're gonna come down, lift up our hips. Our heels are going to rotate back. From here, we're going to heel toe back, our heels underneath our hips. We're gonna inhale, bring our hands towards our shins, and our shoulder blades are gonna move down and back. And then as we exhale, we're going to fold forward. From here, we are going to place our hands down, step back to our downward facing dog. Again, focusing on those back legs. It's okay again if those heels are up, slight bend in the knees is okay. Thinking about pushing down through the floor through our pointer finger and our thumb. Thinking about our hips pulling up towards the ceiling. On our next inhale, we're gonna move that right foot in just an inch and send our left leg back and up, opening up that hip, bending our knee, keeping our shoulders square, rolling out our ankle, moving in each direction. On our next inhale, we're gonna straighten out that leg and step it up to the top of the mat, in between our fingers or in between our hands. Our back heel is staying lifted as we slowly rise to our crescent lunge. Again, options for hands overhead, back of the head, or to our hips. Wherever we are, thinking about our hips pulling back, our belly drawing in, shoulders are over our hips. Also be aware of this right hip opening. Try and push it forward and down to feel a nice hip flexor stretch. Taking one more breath wherever we are. And then as we exhale, we're gonna bring our hands down towards our hips. We're gonna pop that back foot in about 6 inches and straighten out the front leg. Again, really pushing down through the back heel on our right side, keeping our shoulders and hips square. We're gonna take a nice deep breath, stand up nice and tall to both of our feet. Then as we exhale, we're gonna reach forward through a nice flat spine. Reaching our chin towards our shin and looking towards our big toe. It's okay if we keep our hands onto our hips. We're gonna take 3 more breaths here. Bring awareness to our left hip. Try and pull that hip back and push the right hip forward. One more breath. Push that right heel or that left heel down into the floor. Nice deep breath. We're gonna bend into that left knee and slowly place our both hands down to the floor and lift our right heel up towards the ceiling. Again, a slight bend into that left knee is okay for our standing split. Toes are pointing down, heel is reaching up as high as we can. If this is a little tight, you can just keep those right toes down onto the floor. Deep inhale. Then as we exhale, we're going to bring our right toes back and across into our curtsy lunge position. Again, that right leg is on a back diagonal from our left foot. We're bending into that left knee. Option to stay here or keep our right hand down and then lift the left arm up. Thinking about also pulling that left hip up towards the ceiling. Taking 2 more breaths. One more breath. As we exhale, we're gonna bring that left hand down. I'm gonna step the right foot wide and then the left foot wide, and then slowly sinking those hips all the way down. From here, we're gonna reach our right arm out if we'd like to, and then extend the left. Again, this is just an option, not required. Option to still sit on a block, hold on to something for support. Goal is to keep our heels flat, our weight over our heels, knees pointing up. Continuing to breathe, most importantly, in through the nose and out through the nose. Taking a nice deep breath in. And then as we exhale, fold and lift the hips. Slowly heel toeing our feet in. We'll take a nice deep breath in, bring our hands to our shins. And then as we exhale, we'll fold. This time we're gonna take a ragdoll, reaching for either elbow and just gently swaying from side to side. Gentle bend in the knees, shifting the weight towards the toes. Hips are high. From here, we'll slowly release the hands, heel toe those feet all the way in, slowly roll all the way up one vertebrae at a time. Reaching our arms up overhead, maybe bending back just an inch. Then as we exhale, bringing our hands all the way down into our hips.